Hello everyone, welcome to our channel of Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. My name is Kajal Kulkarni and I am going to teach grade 5 SST. Now in our last episode we had seen the 3 levels of government, and firstly we had seen that why do we need a government? Why do we need a government? When India got freedom, there was a lot of fight among the people. The people were looting each other just to fulfill their needs. So now what will happen the next? Then the constitution was made, and in that all the rules and regulations were set. Then later on in that constitution, the rules and regulations were laid for the government as well as for the people of the nation. We are having the 3 levels of government. One is the central government, state government and local government. The central government looks after the working of the entire nation, entire country. Who looks after the nation? Who is taking care? The Prime Minister as well as the President. Okay. Then who is taking care of the state? Now as we all know that India is a very huge country with a very huge population, right? So we need, not a single person can rule all over or take care of the entire country or go to each and every person and discuss their problem. It is not possible for a single person. So we need few levels of government. So firstly we have central, then we have the state government. Now what is the duty of the state government? He takes care of the entire state. For example, if we talk about Maharashtra, Bihar or Uttar Pradesh, okay, so we have the state governments who look after the working of the state. Then we have the 3rd level, that is the local level, that is the local government, which looks after or takes care of the working of the local area or particular area. Okay, so in this way we are having 3 levels of government. Now the local government is in contact. Okay, the local government is directly contact with the people. Is the central government directly connected with the people? No. Will the Prime Minister give you a call or come and see that whether your drainage system is okay, whether your water supply is okay? No. Who will do that? The local government. So the local government has the responsibility to take care of the local area. Then we had the relationship between the central and the state government. One more thing we have about local government, the rural areas, that is the cities, are in that the cities we have municipal corporation or the municipal council, whereas in the rural areas means the villages. In villages we have Gram Panchayat or Zilla Parishad. Okay. Then we had the relationship between the central and the state government. Now the central government has to look after the entire country, the working of the entire country and the relationship with the other countries. Who will look after? State government will take in charge of that? No. The central government has to see that if there are any problems near the border, then the central government has to take the decision. The defense of the country, if suppose we want to order some arms and ammunitions, we want some jet planes, then who will take care of that? Will the state government or local government involve in that or take charge of that? No. The central government will see that working of the country very smoothly, and whatever the borders, the problems are faced will be solved by the central government. Okay, till here everything is clear. State government will look after the working of the state. Now suppose the education system in Maharashtra, who will take care of that? the state government will take care or look after the education system of Maharashtra. All states are having their own education department, education heads. Okay, so they look after each and every, the state government will look after the working of the state. Cleared? Then the central government always helps the state government whenever required or whenever necessary. We have seen that the central government is giving money or giving finance for the states, where the states, if the state is really lacking very or many villages are there in that state, then the government gives some finance to make that state or to make that state come up, okay, so that the things are developed there. So we had done all till here. Now we will move on to the next part, that is the Lok Sabha. Okay, so let's start with the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha is the lower house of the parliament. The members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people for a period of 5 years. It is therefore called the House of the People. Now what is Lok Sabha? With the name itself tells us, Lok Sabha means it is the House of People. All the members working in Lok Sabha, all the members who are the members of Lok Sabha are elected by us. We people vote them in the election, and when they win in the election, they become the member of Lok Sabha. Okay, so they are, when they are the members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people. We people give vote to them and they become the member of Lok Sabha for 5 years. How many years, students? For 5 years. Every 5 years we have election, and in that election when we vote the members, they are directly, they become the member of Lok Sabha. So the Lok Sabha is also called as the House of the People. Okay, the speaker ensures the smooth proceedings of the house. Students, anytime did you all see this Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha working of that in the news or in any of the national channels? On DD National, when the budget is there, you all must have seen many a times. If you all have not seen, just go through some news channels. You will definitely be able to see that the speaker is the head. It may be he or she. They will see that whatever discussion is going on in the Lok Sabha is going very smoothly. Okay, the proceeding of the house should be very smooth. So the speaker is the person who looks after the smooth working of the Lok Sabha, okay, of the house. Again I will repeat, the members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people, and this election or that member is the member of Lok Sabha for 5 years, and every 5 years we have to vote in elections. The elections are there and we have to vote in that and choose the Lok Sabha member. Okay, so because it is directly done by the people, that Lok Sabha is also called as the House of the People. Now in this Lok Sabha, there is one person called as the Speaker. You all must have seen that he or she, sometimes it is he, sometimes it is election, it is elected, they are elected, and it may be he or she. Okay, Speaker Madam or Speaker Sir. So he or she looks after the smooth proceedings of the house. Okay, you all must have seen many a times that the members are fighting, they are talking rubbish, anything, sometimes they are sleeping in that. Okay, so the speaker has to take care of all this. Any citizen of India above 25 years of age can contest elections for the Lok Sabha. Like any citizens of India, anyone who is above 25 years can contest, means take part in the elections of the Lok Sabha. But before that, if we are standing in election, if we are the contestant of the and we are means a contestant of that election part, so people should know us, right? If the people are not knowing us, so who will give us vote? Nobody will give vote. And for taking vote, we have to do some good things. We have to do a lot, many things for the people of that area, so that they will elect us, they will vote us. So any citizen of India, anybody can be the member, can be the contest of the election, and the age limit is 25 years. Citizens of India above 18 years of age can vote in the general elections to elect the members of the Lok Sabha. Now, if the person is 18 years, can you give vote? Do you all go for voting when the elections are there? No. Why? Until and unless you turn 18 years, you cannot give vote. Okay, you all are minor, means you all are still small. So once you all grow up and you all become 18 years, you also have the equal rights to give the vote. Okay, so you can come to know that who is the correct person for your area and who will take care, who will listen to the problems. So we give vote to such members. So the citizens of India above 18 years of age can vote in the general elections to elect the members of the Lok Sabha. To ensure that the elections are fair, the country has been divided into constituencies. The constituencies vary in size, but all have roughly the same population. There are 543 constituencies. Now what is this? You all must have seen, students, that being in same city, we are in Solapur, okay, but few of us get the voting center in one place and few of us get the voting center in another school. Mostly schools or colleges, they are kept as the voting centers. Okay, so these voting centers, if the Solapur city's voting center is only one, then what will happen? Will the voting will be completed in one day? No, it is not possible. So many people will come for voting, right? So we need the constituencies, we need the sections. Okay, so there are 543 constituencies which are divided and they are given this roughly, means they are of same size and having the same population. Okay, candidates from several political parties stand for election from each constituencies. Now, as I told, from each section, from each part, from each ward, there are the candidates who are standing in election. When the election is there, they come to our house and they tell us that please vote us, so that we will do this, we will do that, and we will do nice roads, we will develop this thing, that thing, we will give you this facility. Yes, they keep on promising us when there is election or before election. So the candidates from several political parties, like we have so many political parties like BJP, Congress, so many. So all the candidates, they stand for election from each of the constituency, like each of the part, as I told. So how many constituencies are there? 543 constituencies. So from each constituency there is one member for candidate standing for the election. The candidate who gets most votes is declared elected for that constituency. Now we have so many parties, as I told you all. So all the members of that party are standing. Okay, one member of that parties are standing for election. And then when we give the votes, the counting is done. And whichever party gets the most of the vote, then that party is elected. Okay, that candidate is being elected by whom? By we people. We elect the candidate of one particular party. So the 16th Lok Sabha, which was formed after the general election in 2014, has 543 members. As there are 543 constituencies, so the members are also 543. The Lok Sabha can have a maximum strength of 552 members, of which 530 members represent the states, 20 members represent the union territories, and 2 members representing the Anglo-Indian community are nominated by the President. Now, out of this 543 members, the Lok Sabha can have maximum strength. Now we are already having 543 members, but Lok Sabha is having the capacity of 552 members. It can have 552 members, out of which 530 members represent the state. They represent the states. Okay, like we have Maharashtra, one is representing Maharashtra, one is representing Madhya Pradesh, one is representing Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so the 530 members represent the states, 20 members represent the union territories. Okay, and the 2 members representing the Anglo-Indian community, and they are nominated by the President. Means any 2, Anglo-Indian means it is a combination form of English and British community, that is Christians. Okay, for them also there are 2 members which is nominated by the President. Then we have the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. Lok Sabha was the lower house. Okay, Rajya Sabha is the upper house. The members of the Rajya Sabha are not elected directly by the people of India. Instead, they are elected by the members of the state legislative assemblies for a period of 6 years. It is therefore also called the Council of States. Now, the Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. The parliaments are having 2 houses. One is the lower house, which is Lok Sabha. One is the upper house, which is Rajya Sabha. Okay, again I will repeat, parliament we have lower house, that is Lok Sabha, and upper house, that is Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha, the people directly give the vote and the members are elected. Whereas in Rajya Sabha, the members are not elected by the people of India, but they are elected by the members of state legislative assemblies, and they are the members for 6 years. So they are called as the Council of States. The Rajya Sabha is presided over by the Vice President of India. It has a maximum strength of 250 members, of which 238 are elected and 12 are nominated by the President. 1/3 of the members retire every 2 years. So, the Rajya Sabha is a permanent house unlike the Lok Sabha. Okay, so now the Rajya Sabha, who is the in charge of Lok Sabha students? Who will look after the working or the smooth going of the Lok Sabha? The speaker. The speaker will see that the proceedings are done smoothly. Who will see for that? Rajya Sabha. So the Rajya Sabha is presided over by the Vice President of India, and the maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha is 250 members, whereas of Lok Sabha it was 552. Okay, so the maximum strength of Rajya Sabha is 250 members, out of which 238 are elected. Who elects them? The Legislative Assembly. The State Legislative Assembly elects the members of Rajya Sabha. So 238 are elected and 12 are nominated by the President. Okay, 1/3 of the member retire every 2 years. So every 2 years, 1/3 of these members are retiring. Okay, they are retired. They are not there for the they are not the members of the Rajya Sabha. After every 2 years, they are retired from that. Means retire means they are removed. They are no longer the members. Okay, so the Rajya Sabha is a permanent house unlike the Lok Sabha. Next, the President. The President, when the election is there, do we elect the President, student? No, we don't have the right to elect the President. The President is elected by the members of the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and the State Legislative Assemblies for a period of 5 years. The President is the head of our country. Okay, so the President is not elected directly by the people. The people are not having any rights to elect the President. Who is electing the President? The members of the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and the State Legislative Assembly are they are having the rights to elect the President, and this President is elected for the period of 5 years, and the President is the head of our country. Okay, before Prime Minister, who is the head? So the President is the head of the Prime Minister. Next is the Prime Minister and the Council of Members. After the general election, which is generally held every 5 years, the political party that gets maximum number of seats forms the government. The President of India swears in the leader of that party as the Prime Minister. Now, how the Prime Minister is elected? See, after every general election, when we are having elections that is held every 5 years, so after every general election, the political party that is getting the maximum votes, they become the member or they get the seat and they form the government. So now, if suppose we are having Narendra Modi as our Prime Minister, okay, so how he was made the Prime Minister. So when we people give vote, that is election is held on after every 5 years, when we elect, and suppose the Bhajap, that is BJP, the BJP got the seats, they got maximum seats all over the country. So then they decide who is going to become the Prime Minister, and then the Prime Minister takes the swear in front of the party leaders and he is then elected as a Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the head of the central government and all powers rest in his or her hands. The Prime Minister is helped in the discharge of his or her functions by a specially chosen group of ministers. These ministers look after separate departments of the government such as defense, health, agriculture, industry and finance. The Prime Minister and these Prime Ministers make up the Council of Ministers. Now, we all know that after the election, when the election was done, Mr. Narendra Modi was the Prime Minister of India. Then after that, he is having all the powers in his hands and he can take whatever decision he wants with the consent of other members also. Then when he is elected the Prime Minister, during that time he will select the person heading, means making them the head of the separate individual sections. That is, we have the health ministry, defense ministry, agriculture, industry, finance, so many sections are there. So all individual members are being elected and given the responsibility of this individual field. Okay. Then the Prime Minister and these ministers, the Prime Minister and all these defense minister, finance minister, health minister, so many ministers are there. They, when they come together, it becomes the Council of Ministries. Then we have the state governments. Laws for each states are made by the state legislative assemblies. Their members are directly elected by the people of the state for 5 years. The head of the state government is the chief minister. Okay, CM we say. The chief minister chooses his or her council of ministers to help him or her run the government. The head of each state is the governor. He or she is appointed by the President of India. Now, the state, we have the state government. So, the state government, the laws for each states are made by the state legislative assemblies and the members are elected by the people. Directly they are elected by the people. If we are voting, so we vote for the state government also, and that voting is every 5 years. Students, election is held every 5 years. Okay. Then the head of the government, of state government, who is the head? He is the chief minister, that is the CM, and he also has his own ministries. So when they come together, they also form Council of Ministers. Then the head of each state is the governor and he is appointed by the President of India. Then comes the courts. If any citizen of India feels that his or her fundamental rights are being denied means not accepted, refused, or he or she can approach the courts for justice. The Supreme Court at New Delhi is the highest court of the country. Its decision on any matter is final. The highest court in a state is the High Court. There are district courts at the district levels. Now, all about courts. When the citizen of India, it may be against anyone, even if we are not satisfied with the government. So, the citizen of India can feel free anytime if they think that the fundamental rights which are laid in the constitution are not given to them, they are being denied with that. Okay, so that person can go or approach to the courts for justice. So the highest court is the Supreme Court at New Delhi. It is the highest in the country. If you are not satisfied with the justice made by the High Court, you can apply it in the Supreme Court. Okay. So the highest court in the state, that is, if we are in Maharashtra, so we have the High Court in Mumbai. Where is the High Court? High Court is in Mumbai. So that is the highest court of the state. Okay, we do have the district courts. Now in Sholapur we are having courts. So what is that? That is the district court. If we are not satisfied with the district court, we go to the High Court. If we are not satisfied with the High Court, we can approach to the Supreme Court, and whatever decision is being taken by the Supreme Court, that is the last and final decision. Okay, whatever decision taken by the Supreme Court, no court is higher than Supreme Court. Okay, so if you are not satisfied, or if any person is not satisfied with the decision given by the district court, can go to the High Court, can apply in the High Court. Where is High Court located? High Court is in Mumbai. Okay, that is the highest court in state. And if I am not satisfied with the High Court decision, I can apply to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the highest court in the country, all over country. And where it is located? It is located in New Delhi. So whatever decision is taken in Supreme Court is the final decision. You cannot go against that decision. Okay, so here this was the last point of this last chapter. Here we have completed with a full portion, and the chapter is also done. So if any doubts, please read the chapter, students, and underline the points. If any difficulties, we can solve it in the doubt solving session. Till then, thank you.